You're listening to ABC Illawarra.
It's time for the Grapple on 97.3 ABC Illawarra.
Yes, the final Socceroos squad has just been announced with less than 2 weeks to go until the FIFA World Cup kicks off in the US, Canada and Mexico. Well, one man who is counting down the days is the host of Cup Fever, which is returning to SBS every night of the tournament. It's Ed Cavalier, and he joins me now to talk about everything World Cup. G'day, Ed.
Thank you very much for having me. I thought I was coming on to talk about what I loved about living in Thirroul, but I'll talk about the Socceroos if you'd like.
Do you have you spent much time in Thirroul, Ed?
I want to after hearing all those glowing reports.
Oh.
No, I've lived in Sydney, but I've never done any Thirroul time. But I'm thinking that I need to after that.
Hold on, look, Thirroul's a lovely place, but hold on 1 second, Ed.
We've been out on the streets of Stanwell Park.
G'day, my name is Brad. I'm from Stanwell Park.
Finding out why you love where you live.
This is God's country. This is the promised land.
What do you reckon, Ed? Maybe Stanwell Park?
God's country and the promised land. Well, isn't Donald Trump saying that's Greenland these days? Isn't that the last thing I think I heard him say?
It's Stanwell. He wants to take over Stanwell Park next. He's on his way to the Illawarra.
Yeah, that's his. I wouldn't put it past him. I would not put it past him.
Okay, look, we are here to talk about football. The World Cup squad was announced this morning. Now, the big headline that I've been seeing is the inclusion of an uncapped midfielder by the name of Christian Volpato, who apparently has a big future in the national team. Now, Ed, I've admitted to our audience that I'm a bit of a bandwagon supporter when it comes to the Socceroos. The World Cup rolls around, and here I am with my yellow T-shirt on, pretending I've been speaking to these people the whole time. Not really the case. Tell me about this young midfielder, Christian Volpato.
Yeah, well, as you said, Cup Fever, we're back with myself and Santo Chilaro and many, many guests, and we're on SBS On Demand and on SBS YouTube as well. And the great point you bring up about Christian Volpato, who for a number of years played for the Italian youth teams and now has, at pretty much the last minute, has decided to declare for Australia. And it's a bit of an interesting choice because, as you say, he hasn't played for Australia yet, but he plays in Serie A, the top league in Italy, and he is a very, very talented player. And it speaks to something, Stefan, because Italy hasn't made the past 3 World Cups. So it's a very strange situation we find ourselves in. For a young player who plays in the Italian First Division, their best chance at playing for a World Cup is to say, I don't want to play for Italy. So it's a very new situation we find ourselves in. But to speak to the wider point, one thing that he does represent, which is something that pretty much every country is leaning into this World Cup, all 48 teams, and Australia is a big part of this. It's very much about the diaspora. It's very much about where your heritage lies, but in terms of who qualifies for what nation. So Australia, as you know, and this Socceroos lineup is a big part of that, does quite a good job of representing Australia as a multicultural society with many different players, backgrounds, even their birth countries being from different places, but coming together and very much representing Australia in the Socceroos. So he sort of represents two things, which is the sort of growing stature of the Socceroos inside the sort of world of football, and B, how terrible Italy are at the moment.
Yeah, and who knows when he's going to get a chance to play in a World Cup if he wants to play for Italy eventually as well. So.
Well, you know what? There's no way we didn't say that. There is no. But look, anyone who knows Tony Popovich, I was recently in the Socceroos camp doing some interviews and doing some filming for Cup Fever for me and Santo, who's coming up on SBS On Demand and YouTube. And one of the things that they were all saying, the Socceroos, to us was, Popovich is a hard man. He is you have to earn your place. This is not a holiday. You need to work this out. And so I think that sort of instilled in the Socceroos the players that are picked. I know this is going to sound ridiculous. I think we're in the top 20 nations in the world. I really do.
Okay, all right. Well, I want to take a bit more of a deeper look into some of this squad was announced. Like, it is a pretty young squad, right? So 8 players under 23. Who are some of the other ones that we need to be looking out for, who you expect to have a big tournament?
Well, Aaron Quinder is the one that people will speak to because he came through in Adelaide and then he went to Bayern Munich and now he's playing at Watford. And he is a genuine X factor. There are few countries in the world who can call on someone who is a genuine chaos merchant. So much of football at the moment is set pieces and that type of thing. So he is a genuine chance to be the breakout star of this tournament. But the other one I would say, and it does speak to what Popovic has done, is there's another uncapped striker, Yengi, I'll get his last name wrong, who hasn't played for the Socceroos yet, but he's a tall, towering striker who's been doing an incredible job in the Asian leagues and in the Asian sort of cup competitions. And what that shows is when Josh Kennedy came out of nowhere many years ago, looking like football Jesus, when Josh Hiddink picked him, and I didn't know who he was back then, it shows that we're really trying to get as many different types of players into this squad as we can for the differing situations. And the last person I'll bring up is Matt Ryan. Now, I know that Matt Ryan is going to his fourth World Cup, and he is the epitome of something that probably everybody knows. But, Stefan, the thing about him is he was out of the team. He was not the Socceroos' number one choice, and he went to Spain, and he went to a club in the lower half of La Liga, which is their top league. And it is the consensus from all of the Google translating I do on Spanish websites and boring soccer podcasts I listen to, but it is the case that he almost single-handedly saved that club from relegation in Spain. And one of the driving factors for he's always been a great goalkeeper, but for this absolute, single-minded determination was that Popovic said to him, you are not guaranteed to start at this World Cup. So that is the spirit we're going in with. So it's a great, as you bring up, it's a great mix of young and old, but more than that, it's an incredible mix of focus and determination to, one, do as well as they can for the Socceroos, and B, just not be on the bad side of Tony Popovic.
Okay. Ed, we're in Group D, so take us through who's in our group. And I mean, it's not a terrifying prospect if I look at it, but what do I know? Who are we playing and how's it looking for us?
Well, we'll start. So Paraguay is the South American nation. Now, the South American nations, as you know, it oscillates wildly between your sort of Lionel Messi-led Argentinas, your Brazilians, and then Paraguay are a little bit like us. They're very determined. They've got a great team spirit. I've only seen them play a couple of times. They don't have any really heavy standout individuals. They will think that they are going to beat us easily. But they are not going to beat us easily. We are a better team than them, and we are going to beat Paraguay. Turkey is up next. Now, as always, with almost every nation we play, some of our players, as is Beige being one, in the Socceroos, has heritage in, Turkish heritage, right? And so they are a very good side, Turkey. They have two very good wingers, and they have one very good central midfielder. But their defence is not fantastic. And they will think they are going to beat us easily. They will not. We are going to get a draw at least with Turkey. And then we come to the matter at hand, Stefan, the United States of America. We are playing the United States of America.
They call it the AUKUS Derby, apparently.
Well, we know that the games will take place. The submarines may not. So
hopefully we get a second-hand American team or something.
Yeah, just repainted. The US now, they have been talking a lot of smack, as we say in the industry, about the Australian team. All of their pundits have said that we're easy. All of the pundits have said that we're no chance. But I'm here to say that their team is awful. Please put me on record as saying that. They have named captain. They've got a 40-year-old captain, which is fine. This World Cup has the most 40-year-olds that have ever played in it. I don't know if it's Ozempic or the Wolverine peptide stack, but whatever it is, it's working because there's never been more 40-year-olds in the World Cup. Their team is, and this is a term, I don't want to get too technical for people, their team is awful. They have almost no defenders of note. They have one good forward. Their best player is a guy called Christian Pulisic, who's been playing for AC Milan and doing terribly in Serie A. Now, everyone's saying they're going to have home crowd support. No, they're not. The most supported nation in the United States in this World Cup is going to be Mexico. That is the home nation in the United States. Don't get it, because there were 76,000 there for a friendly yesterday with the Socceroos.
Wow. We
are going to beat the US, and you are going to beat the United States, and we are going to top our group.
Wow. And then, so what happens then? So we've topped our group, and then who are we likely to sort of face as we roll forward?
Well, sadly, we start getting into the Netherlands of it all, and teams like that. So things do get tougher from there. But once we're there, once we're past that group, if we get through the group first, even if we come third and we're one of the best third-place teams, I really do think we can do something in the knockout stages. Now, as you know, it depends on who comes where. It's like, Russell Crowe's going to help me out with one of his beautiful mind boards with the red string to try and map it all out.
Yep.
But basically, at some point, we're going to run into the Netherlands, Portugal starring 1,000-year-old Ronaldo, or perhaps Argentina, who we lost to last time. That is our future. But the one thing that a lot of people aren't talking about, because they've got lives, unlike me, and they don't spend all day online doing this, is the weather. It is going to be very, very hot. So the English are going to melt. The Scottish are going to be melt and they'll be drunk. And then it's the fitness of these teams that's going to make a huge difference. And that's something that we also have a huge advantage in.
Okay. And look, finally, we've got this one friendly to go against Switzerland next weekend. How big is this sort of game in the scheme of things?
Well, it's funny you should say that because, it's always so hard for Swiss supporters because, their inherent neutrality makes it hard for them to get excited about anything. But they're a perfect bellwether for us because they're the type of team that if we want to be any good at soccer in the future, that we need to beat. And we can beat them. Our squad is better than Switzerland's squad, and we should be able to beat them. If we didn't miss an open goal and an easy chance the other day against Mexico, we should have got a draw. If we can beat Switzerland in this friendly, that will show the world, maybe these guys aren't as easy as we thought they were, and that will set us up beautifully.
Wow. Okay. All right. Plenty coming up. Now, Ed, how are you going to be going with your sleep schedule? How are you going to be going with staying on track? What kind of things do you need to get you through obviously with Cup Fever? What's going on?
Yes. Well, myself and Santo, we're on SBS On Demand and SBS YouTube every single day. We've got to show a half-hour show every single day there's a match. So it's 31 days in a row that Santo and I are going to do this show. So we're going to be married for this. It's like Married at First Sight, but with soccer for Santo and I, right? And more tattoos. So we're going to be together every day. But, here's the thing. I love it. As you know, there's bandwagon support. Like we'll get heaps of, Socceroos fans, and then something will happen. Curacao will end up being good and no one knew they were, so the storyline will take over. And Santo and I would be watching it anyway. So now we're going to get a chance to talk about it. We've got a lot of great guests coming up. We've got comedians, we've got former Socceroos, we've got people over there. We're going to have a live audience, which we're going to let people come and be a part of. So it's a party. The World Cup is a party, and thank you very much, SBS, for allowing Santo and I to come on and put on our nonsense every day. But to answer your question, I'll be taking what they call the Bitey's Choice cold and flu tablets every day. Thank you for asking.
Okay, that's a good one. Well, good luck with it all. Obviously, very excited about the World Cup, as am I, as are all of us. Ed Cavalier, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
That's Ed Cavalier there, host of Cup Fever on SBS. And on YouTube as well, you can catch all that with Ed and Santo.